All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Homewood-Flossmoor Vikings baseball broadcast. This game is against the Stagg Chargers, and we're going to start this game pretty quickly as Dylan Head is going to step in. He fouls the first pitch down into the Stagg dugout. As you can see, we are at a different location. It is a beautiful Ozinga field, home to the Windy City Thunderbolts. 0-1 to Head. Just off the plate, 1-1. That pitch is fouled straight back. 1-2. Should introduce the Stagg starting pitcher. It's number 24, Quinn Saunders. I'll tell you the rest of the Stagg infield and outfield after this Head at bat. He swings and misses, and he's going to be standing on first base with a drop third, and he's going to try for second, and that is going to be the most productive strikeout you will ever see. A strikeout that Dylan Head uses his speed to turn into a double, essentially. That is a very rare thing that you see. A strikeout turning into a man on second for the offense, but this backstop here at Ozinga Field is a major league backstop, so if any balls get away, you can see runners take two bases like Head did right there. But behind Quinn Saunders in the infield is Spencer Sharp at third, Andrew Spee at short, Paulie Demos at second, and Mark Wolak at first. And there's first pitch strike to Bennett Reich, the left fielder. Behind them in the outfield is Sebastian Talaga in left, AJ Zavala in center, and Bobby Jansky in right. 0-1, Reich squares bunt, pulls back, and Head takes third. His first stolen base of the day. We saw him take 3 of those against Andrew on Monday. The 12-inning, 5-hour contest that the Vikings ended up coming out victorious on, 14-13. There's a good pitch there from Saunders, 1-2. So now Reich behind in the count, 1-2. Trying to drive in Head from third here to give the Vikings an early lead. He takes ball off the plate. Here comes Head, and he will score, and the Vikings have a 1-0 lead in the top of the first. A strikeout that turned into a man on second for the Vikings now has turned into a run. So that brings the count to 2-2 on the left fielder Reich. Reich walked 4 times on Monday against Andrew. He takes ball 3 in the dirt. Great at bat here from the left fielder Reich. If Bennett can get on base, the Vikings have 2 thumpers behind him in Jason Ballard and Preston Lund. That full count pitch is fouled off himself, keeping the count at a full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count pitch from Saunders. Swing and a miss from Reich. And Saunders' second strikeout victim of the day is only the first out here for the Chargers. His first strikeout was a drop third that Dylan Head advanced to second on, using this big backstop here at Ozinga Field, and then later came around to score. Here's Jason Ballard, the right fielder. He takes first pitch low from Quinn Saunders. 1-0 from Saunders. Ballard chases outside, evening the count at a ball and a strike. That pitch from Saunders is up and out. Ball 2. Two one from Saunders. Another swing and a miss from Ballard. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Saunders appears to have that two-seam sinking action to his fastball, getting the Vikings to swing over it here. Ballard pops one straight back, right over my head. Keeps the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. He swings and lines one down the left field line. That one's going to hook foul. Good battle by Ballard. So Saunders and Ballard, still 2-2 count. That one's in the dirt. Ball 3. Bringing the count to a full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ballard homered in the 12-inning affair, and he'll take ball 4 inside. And the Vikings have a runner on first base with 1 out. For the designated hitter, Preston Lund.
The designated hitter number 10, Preston Lund.
Lund went 1 for 4 and still managed to get on base 3 more times. So combined, he had 7 at-bats. He went 1 for 4 with 3 walks. He'll take ball 1 inside from Saunders. Lund, Ballard, and the leadoff man Dylan Head are all tied for the Vikings' lead in home runs with 3. Ozinga Field is a bit bigger than the Vikings field. That one's inside. Ball 2 to Lund. The dimensions are 330 down both lines, and looks to be about 390, 400 feet to center field. If there is a marking out there on the center field wall, I can't read it from where I am, but it's definitely deeper than the Vikings field at home, where it's about 360 to center, but they do have that monster wall. 2-0 to Lund is in there for a strike. It is a bit bigger in the gaps here as well. So if the Vikings want to hit one out to left field or left or right center, they'll have to get a hold of one. As Lund swings through that pitch from Saunders, bring the count to a even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Heavy dosage of fastballs from Saunders to the Vikings hitters today so far. That one's in the dirt. Bringing the count to a full 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Lund trying to follow Ballard. Ballard's walk with a walk of his own. Pickoff attempt. Ballard slides in safely at first. Full count pitch. Saunders to Lund. Ballard takes off. Check swing got him. And Ballard will be safe at second base. A great swim move there by Ballard to take second base. But Lund goes down on strikes for the Vikings' second out of the top of the first. Now batting for the Vikings with a runner in scoring position is going to be the second baseman Corey Mulling. Mulling went 2 for 6 with a double in Monday's affair with Andrew. Long hold from Saunders. Here's the pitch. Inside. Ball 1. Saunders does seem to be peppering that inside to righties. He's trying to get that fastball to like start at their hip and then dip back in over the plate. There's a fastball. The Mulling swings through. a ball and a strike. Saunders comes set. Ballard, secondary lead, and he's going to take off Mulling. Flares one, and that one is going to be down in foul territory. Ballard had a great jump there. Read Saunders' move. Timed him up. Got a great jump. On those, it's best for the batter to not swing. Let the runner take the free base. But Mulling, if Mulling had even grounded a ball towards third, Ballard would have scored. As he grounds one towards Spee at short, fires to Wolak at first, and that is going to be the end of the Vikings' top of the first. But they get one run thanks to the speed of Dylan Head. And through a half inning, it's the Vikings leading over the Stagg Chargers 1-0. On the mound for the Vikings, making his first varsity appearance after just being called up from JV, it's going to be the sophomore, number 16, Nick Calamino. Calamino is going to be added to an already depleted Vikings pitching staff, with both Carter Green and David Anderson going down due to arm injuries. Both of them will be out for the year. We wish them the best. Hope for a speedy recovery. Leadoff man for the Stagg Chargers is the center fielder A.J. Zavala. He takes first pitch outside from Calamino. Around Calamino in the infield is Caden Wesley at third, Rob Tate at short, Corey Mulling at first, and Demir Heidelberg. Corey Mulling at second, and Demir Heidelberg at first. Zavala fouls that one back, 1-1. Behind them in the outfield is Bennett Reich in left, Dylan Head in center, and Jason Ballard in right field. So pretty similar to what the Vikings have rolled out there in games prior. That 1-1 pitch is in there for a strike from Calamino. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Calamino looking to start his varsity career with a punch-out. 1-2 pitch. That one's off the plate. 2-2. Good breaking ball there from Calamino. 2-2 pitch from Calamino. Swing and a miss, and that is how Nick Calamino is going to start his Homewood-Flossmoor Vikings career. A strikeout. What better way to start? It's always good to see. He will now face the shortstop, Andrew Spee. First pitch to Spee is popped down the third base line. Out of play. Caden Wesley and Rob Tate gave it as much chase as they could, but that one just kept on hooking and hooking foul out of play. These Stagg Chargers are coming off of a 21-8 loss at the hands of Tinley Park yesterday. They're 1-4 in their last 5, but so are the Vikings. That one's fouled down the left field line again. Vikings have played some tough competition in recent games. Chargers aren't exactly the competition that they were facing in Kentucky, where both teams were ranked 1 and 2 in the state of Kentucky, and St. Xavier was ranked 3rd in the Midwest. Trinity in the high 20s overall in the Midwest. But you can never take any opponent too lightly, because right when you do that, that's when they walk all over you. Calomino's ahead in the count, 0-2 to Andrew Spee. He sends one out towards center field, head over to his right, and he'll make the play. That one had a lot more tail than I thought it was. I thought that one was hit to straightaway center field, but it hooked towards left center field. But Dylan Head ranges over and makes the play. That sends the DH Augie White to the dish. White went 1 for 2 with a run scored yesterday against Tinley Park. He swings through a Calomino first pitch. Came up empty on that one. Almost knocked him off balance. 0-1 from Calomino. There's strike 2. Good breaking ball there from Calomino. That one looked to have slider shape to it. Has him ahead in the count very quickly, 0-2. 0-2 pitch from Calomino. Popped foul. 0-2 still. If the Vikings can make Calomino a serviceable arm, which he is, definitely, but if he can get his comfort in, he can be a very reliable arm. As he sends one out towards right center field, Ballard is going to have no play on, and that one's going to one-hop the fence. Augie White is going to be waved. No, he's going to stumble and fall around second base. Looked like he was going to be waved towards third, but then stumbled around second base. And the Chargers have a 2-out double. As I was saying, Calomino can be a very serviceable arm, whether that be a starter or out of relief. Vikings are low on pitching. Bobby Jansky, the right fielder, stepping up now. He takes a breaking ball in the dirt from Calomino. Good block there by the catcher, Josh Moore, who I hadn't acknowledged until just now. Josh Moore is Nick Calomino's battery mate. 1-0 to Jansky. In the dirt, yet again, ball 2. Two balls and no strikes to the right fielder, Jansky. Pitch from Calomino. On the outside corner for strike 1. That one appeared to be a little bit off the plate in the towards the left-handed batter's box, but you know, we'll take a strike. That one's in the dirt. 3-1. So not Haggerty. I don't know why I said Haggerty. Calomino is trying to work around a 2-out double. He made quick work of the first 2 batters. Count is 3-1 to Jansky. So he sends one down the left field line. That one's going to be foul. That one looked to be That one looked like it was going to stay fair for a while, but then just hooked foul at the last minute. But it brings the count to a full 3-2 for Bobby Jansky. Full count pitch from Calmino. Sends one out towards right center field again. Ballard will have a diving catch. Jason Ballard takes a run away from the Stagg Chargers and ends this bottom of the first inning with a phenomenal catch, going back and to his arm side, and that is how this first inning is going to end. The Chargers do not score. They strand a runner on second. At the end of one, it's 1-0 Vikings. Leading off this Vikings half of the second inning, it's going to be the first baseman, Demir Heidelberg.
Stepping into the plate for the Vikings, baseman number 31, Demir Heidelberg.
Heidelberg went 0 for 1 in a pinch hit opportunity late in the game against Andrew. He takes first pitch strike from Saunders. That outside corner seems to be a bit wider than what the Vikings are used to, and even the Chargers. There's a ball low from Saunders. 1-1. That's strike 2 to Heidelberg. That one, again, maybe a bit off the plate in the left-handed batter's box. But it's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Demir Heidelberg chases a fastball up around his neck for the first out of the top of the second.
Number 6, Josh Moore.
Catcher, Josh Moore, stepping to the dish now. Moore was he was the only Viking starter who did not record a hit against Andrew as he watches strike 1. That one was probably over the plate. That one wasn't as bad of a call. Moore follows that one back, 0-2. Yeah, Moore went 0 for 4. Still contributed to the Vikings win, however. He walked and came around to score. Also had a couple RBIs. He's behind in the count 0-2 to Saunders, as he chases a changeup low and away, and that is the second out of this Vikings half of the second inning.
Now batting third baseman number 11, Caden Wesley.
So Quinn Saunders has 2 strikeouts on 7 pitches. Caden Wesley, the third baseman, will try to break that up as he fouls the first pitch back. 0-1. Saunders seems to have recognized that that outside corner is a bit extended, so he's throwing a lot of pitches over there on that outside corner, as you can see right there, but that one was a bit up and out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wesley trying to avoid being the 3rd strikeout victim of this Vikings half of the second, and he'll take ball 2 off the plate. He swings through another Saunders fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Quinn Saunders trying to strike out the side here in this top of the second. And he will. So Quinn Saunders goes 3 up, 3 down, all via the strikeout in this top of the second. But the Vikings still hold a 1-0 lead over the Chargers going into the bottom of the second. Nick Calomino still on the bump here in this bottom of the second. He'll face the Chargers' 5-hitter, Spencer Sharp, their 3rd baseman.
Leading off the second, your 3rd baseman, number 7, Spencer Sharp.
Calomino worked around a 2-out double from Augie White in the first. First pitch is a strike on that extended outside corner. Calomino likes to work from the windup. He appears more comfortable, as most pitchers are, as Sharp taps that one foul. Calomino very quickly ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Trying to start this bottom of the second like he did the bottom of the first with a strikeout. That one's in the dirt yet again. Not a bad pitch when you're that ahead in the count. He's still ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch to Sharp. That one's 2 outside. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Calomino winds. 2-2 to Sharp. Lined into right center field. Head will have no play on that, as even his speed couldn't get to that ball, as that one was just sinking a little bit fast. But it's a leadoff single here in the Chargers' half of the second inning. It's going to send the Chargers' first baseman Mark Wolak to the dish with a runner on first and nobody out. Calomino can get a ground ball here. Wolak does look to be a double play candidate. That one's off the plate. Ball 1. One to Wolak. In the dirt. Moore's up with it. He's going to throw to second. Not in time for Spencer Sharp. So he steals second. And now the Chargers are threatening to even this game up. They've got a runner in scoring position and nobody out. with a 2-ball and no strike count on the first baseman, Wolak. Pitch from Calmino. Swing and a miss from Wolak. 2-1. Calmino was in a situation like this in the first. Runner on second. Trying to get out of it here. Wolak will hit one towards Tate at short. He can't come up with it. Bennett Reich in left will. Holds Sharp at third and Wolak to a single. But back-to-back singles here in this bottom of the second. Have the Chargers with runners on the corners and one out. Excuse me, no outs.
Fielder number 14, Sebastian Talaga.
Sebastian Talaga, the left fielder, stepping in now. Good breaking ball there from Calmino. Talaga waves and misses at that one. 0-1. That one's in the dirt. 1-1. Wolak does not really have a base stealing lead over there at first base, so I doubt that he's going to try and take second. Now he gets more. That one's hit very well into left field. Bennett Reich going back on it. He won't have a play, and the Stagg Chargers have a 3-1 lead here in this bottom of the second inning. A home run to left field off the bat of Sebastian Talaga gives the Chargers a 3-1 lead. A warm day here, 82 degrees. The ball does fly here. Doesn't help that the wind is blowing ever so slightly out to left center field.
Number 10, Aiden Taylor.
But either way, Vikings in a 3-1 hole now. Aiden Taylor, the catcher, stepping in. He sends one to left field. Not nearly as well hit. Reich settles under it for the first out of this bottom of the second. So Nick Calmino has now seen the highs and lows of being a varsity pitcher. Struck out his first batter he ever saw, but then was taken deep to left field. So don't get too high, don't get too low. Best to have a short memory. It's a good sign as he's ahead in the count 0-1 to the last batter in the Chargers order, Paulie Demos, the second baseman. That one's too far off the plate. 1-1. Calmino winds. 1-1 Demos. Good breaking ball. Gets Demos to foul that one back. 1-2. Something interesting. A usual starter, Vince Waterman, appears to be warming in the pen. I don't know if this is just him throwing or if this is him getting warm to come in potentially. Maybe they're using Calmino as an opener. That 1-2 pitch is upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 to Demos. That one's off the plate. Full count. 3-2. Full count pitch from Calmino. Swing and a miss. And that is how the Vikings will get their second out here in this bottom of the second. So after that home run from Talaga, Calmino has settled down, gotten 2 straight outs. But it turns the lineup card over for the Chargers. A.J. Zavala, their leadoff man, now batting. He takes first pitch strike from Calmino. Zavala went down on strikes in his first at-bat. Calmino trying to do more of the same here. That one looked good from up here. Maybe just a tad bit high. Evens a count at a ball and a strike. Calmino winds. The 1-1. That one's upstairs yet again. 2-1. Zavala sends the 2-1 pitch out into center field. A lazy fly ball for Dylan Head. And that's going to do it for the Chargers in their half of the second inning. But a 3-run homer off the bat of Sebastian Talaga gives the Chargers a 3-1 lead after 2. Leading off this Vikings half of the third inning, it's going to be the shortstop, Rob Tate. I believe his thumb guard came off. That's why he's walking out to the mound right there. Flew out there towards Quinn Saunders, the starting pitcher. Tate was very serviceable from the 9 spot in the Vikings win over Andrew. He takes first pitch off the plate from Saunders. Tate is the usual Vikings 2-hitter. Got bumped down to 9, but still produced. He went 4 for 6 over in Andrew's win, and he sends one into left center field. Talaga going back on it. He'll settle under it. On the track, that ball was hit a very long way, but unfortunately, it's going to be a long out. He gave that ball a ride, but unfortunately it settled right under Talaga. Turns the lineup card over for the only man to score for the Vikings today, Dylan Head. He struck out actually his first time up, but then reached on a drop third strike, and he actually advanced to second on that pitch. He sends one on the ground to Demos at second, and that is the second out of the Vikings' third inning. Ball was hit hard, but just right at Demos at second. Bennett Reich struck out his first time up, trying to avoid doing that again here in the top of the third. Saunders winds. Swing and a miss from Reich. It's a good hack there from Reich. Tight slider there from Saunders. Has him ahead in the count, 0-2. 0-2 pitch to Reich. Off the plate, 1-2. Reich trying to avoid being the 7th strikeout victim. He sends one on the ground toward Demos at second base, and that one's going to get through for the first Vikings hit of this game. Ground ball single into right field for Bennett Reich. Sends Jason Ballard, the right fielder, to the dish with a runner on first and 2 outs. Ballard walked his first time up, also swiped a base. First pitch from Saunders is up around Ballard's chest. 1-0. That one's in the dirt, and that's going to get by the catcher, Taylor. And Bennett Reich moves up 90 feet to second. That was ball 2 to Ballard. So he's ahead in the count, 2-0. 2-0. Ballard can single into the outfield. That'll score a run. He takes a healthy hack right there. 2-1. It's a good 2-0 swing right there. You know, swing for the fences on 2-0. 2-1 now from Saunders. That's on the inside corner. Strike 2. That 2-seam sinking fastball from Saunders. Just tailed right back over the plate. Evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. So Jason Ballard hits one high. Hits one deep. And it's gone. Jason Ballard hits a moon scraper of a home run, and the Vikings have tied this game at 3 in the 3rd. He takes the Vikings home run lead with 4, and this ball game is tied. That one just hung up there forever, and it came down over the fence. Left fielder Talaga just kept on going back. I thought he was going to settle under it at the warning track, but it just kept carrying, and he had to look up. And it flew out of here. As Preston Lund, the DH, swings through first pitch from Saunders. Saunders very quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. Lund skies one to right. Jenski calling for it, and he'll make the play to end this Vikings half of the 3rd inning. But a Jason Ballard 2-out, 2-strike home run to left evens things at 3 going into the bottom of the 3rd. Nick Calamino back on the bump for the Vikings. He'll face the heart of the Chargers order. Andrew Spee will lead off. the two-hole hitter in the Chargers lineup, flied to center field his first time up. Vince Waterman still throwing down the right field line in the bullpen. Spee squares bunt, pulls back on a strike. Kane Wesley, the third baseman, was playing in. Now he's playing a bit more in. 0-1 to Spee. It's a breaking ball around his feet. 1-1. Spee takes a pitch just off the plate. 2-1. Calamino winds. 2-1. That one's in a better spot. 2-2. So Calamino trying to set down Spee on strikes for the first out of this bottom of the third. He lines one towards Mulling at second base, and that is going to be a very hard hit out to start this bottom of the third. Mulling barely had to move, just stick his glove out and catch that one. Augie White, the DH, doubled to right field his first time up. That ball's upstairs. 1-0. As shadows start to cover home plate, this view is going to get a lot different for you guys. As sends one on the ground to short. Rob Tate slides up with it and can't transfer it. Still tries to throw it over. Had a very good hard throw to first. But Augie White is going to be safe at first. It's probably going to be an error on Rob Tate.
Your right fielder, number 21, Bobby Jansky.
Bobby Jansky flied to right. Jason Ballard made an incredible diving catch to end the first inning. Jansky can just roll it over in the, let's say, a 6-4-3 double play to end this third inning. He takes a breaking ball outside corner for strike one. If Calamino can just get Jansky to get on top of that pitch. Picks off towards first. White slides in safely. If Jansky can just roll it over, maybe the Caden Wesley over there at third. Oh, 1. Lined into center field, head racing over. He won't have a play on it. And that's going to be a one-out single for Bobby Jansky. Head slid, tried to make a play on it, did not, but knocked it down. Did not let it get by him.
Number 7, Spencer Sharp.
Spencer Sharp singled and then later came around to score to lead off the second inning. He takes a breaking ball from Calamino in there for strike one. Calamino checking on White over there at second. And he sends one out to left center field, and that ball is going to clang off the wall. It's going to score at least 2. And Sharp is going to be thrown out at third base, but the Chargers do score 2. So a Spencer Sharp double to left center field gives the Chargers a 5-3 lead.
Your first baseman, number 5, Mark Wolak.
Mark Wolak now stepping in. He takes first pitch strike from Calamino. That's something Calamino has done very consistently, is throw first pitch strike. That's always good to see. Being ahead in the count gives you control as a pitcher. And he's now ahead in the count 0-2. Calamino trying to end this bottom of the third. And he will, with a strikeout of Mark Wolak. The Chargers get 2 thanks to a 2 RBI, 2-out double from Spencer Sharp. And at the end of the third, it's the Chargers 5 and the Vikings 3. Leading off this Vikings half of the fourth, it's going to be the second baseman, Corey Mulling. Mulling grounded to short his first time up. Was hit hard, but right at Andrew Spee over there at short. And watch first pitch outside from the starting pitcher, Quinn Saunders. Saunders back out on the bump for his fourth inning of work. Mulling fouls that pitch back. A ball and a strike. Fouls that pitch back yet again. 1-2. Saunders does seem to be working that outer third of the plate to righties. One, 2 to Mulling. In the dirt. Even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I don't know if you viewers at home can't exactly have the best view of that, as the shadows are overtaking home plate. So we apologize, but there's not much we can do about that, as shadows are just part of everyday life. No, they're with you wherever you are. But Corey Mulling, that was a full count on him. Good at bat here. He sends one into left field, a very hard hit single. Could hear the ball spinning from up here. And that is how the Vikings are going to start this top of the fourth. Mulling was hit 2 hard hit balls to the left side of the infield. One got through. One was fielded. But it sends Demir Heidelberg to the plate with a runner on first and nobody out. Heidelberg struck out his first time up, trying to avoid that right here. He sends one down the right field line. That one is hooking foul. Believe that's Brian Brooks down the line. He caught that ball while it was still in play, but the right fielder, Bobby Jansky, didn't really have a play on it, so he was jogging towards it, but I can see why umpire Did not want Brooks to touch that ball. Heidelberg takes ball 1 in the dirt. But it's best not to touch a live ball with a potential play. But it was foul. No play on it. So Heidelberg has a 1-1 count on him now. He does represent the tying run, so if he can get a hold of one, he fouls one back, 1-2. Chargers are shifting him to be more of a push hitter, so if he can send one down the third base line, Mulling can run for days. Or just hit one to straightaway center field. He takes ball 2, low and away. That's something interesting about these Stagg Chargers, is they seem to be shifting very frequently. Heidelberg fouls that one back yet again, keeping the count at 2-2. Like, even if Heidelberg just lines one right back up the middle, I don't think center fielder Zavala or anyone really has a play on that. If it's hard hit, it can roll all the way to the wall out there in center field, as this field is all turf, so the ball will roll for days. He's got to do that first, as he chases strike 3 in the dirt, and that is going to be the first out of the Vikings' 4th inning.
Catcher number 6, Josh Moore.
Josh Moore, the catcher, stepping in now for the Vikings. He struck out his first time up. The second of 3 strikeouts in the 2nd inning for Saunders. Mulling takes off. A throw from Riley. Safe. Excuse me, not Riley. Taylor. But Mulling swipes second base. It's 1-0 on the catcher, Moore. Taylor had a good throw to second base, but Mulling was just too fast for him. 1-0 count on Moore. Moore cuts and misses at that pitch from Saunders. 1-1. Again, Chargers are shifting more to be late, so if he can send one down the left field line. Moore swings through that pitch, 1-2. Moore has speed, so you never know. If he can get one to the wall, he might be able to score. Saunders spins, nobody's home. Spee was back manning his natural position, shortstop, not covering second. 1-2 from Saunders. Moore takes off the plate. 2-2. So Moore trying to drive in Mulling from second base. He's got a 2-2 count on him. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Moore calls time, steps out. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on second base. Moore flies one towards short center. Spee under it, and he'll make the play for the 2nd out of this Vikings half of the 4th inning.
Third baseman, number 11, Caden Wesley.
Caden Wesley, the 3rd baseman, stepping in now. He struck out to end the 2nd, his first time up. Something that the batters have to be wary about is that shadow. They can lose the ball after it leaves Saunders' hand and then goes into the shadow. They can be hard to pick up, as Wesley fouls that one back. 0-1. That last 10-15 feet is in the shadows for the batters. And that can be the decision about where to position your bat, all that stuff. Just final tweaks to your swing. Wesley swings awkwardly at that pitch, 0-2. Vikings trying to avoid stranding a Corey Malling leadoff single at second base. Kane Wesley has an 0-2 count on him. That one's up and out. Ball one. One and two to the third baseman Wesley, trying to score Malling from second. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss from Wesley. And that is going to end the Vikings' top of the fourth. They strand a Malling leadoff single. The next three batters go down in order. So through 3.5, it's the Chargers 5 and the Vikings 3. Now on the mound for the Vikings, a usual starter coming out of the bullpen is the lefty Vince Waterman. He'll relieve the starter, Nick Calomino. The sophomore starting pitcher, went 3 innings, allowed 5 runs on 4 hits. Only 4 of them were earned. But Waterman will be tasked with facing the 7, 8, 9 hitters in this Chargers lineup. But Sebastian Talaga did homer to left his first time up. Squared bunt, offered at it, so that's going to be strike one. So Talaga, who sent a ball way out of here in the second, tried to get one down the third base line for a bunt, but came up empty on that pitch. And that pitch was a ball upstairs, 1-1. Another swing and a miss from Talaga, 1-2. Waterman trying to start his game how Nick Calomino started his, with a strikeout of the first batter each of them have faced. 1-2 from Waterman. And he hits Talaga. And that is how Vince Waterman will start his game. A hit by pitch with 2 strikes on Sebastian Talaga.
Now batting number 10, Aiden Taylor.
But it's all right. We've seen Vince Waterman get out of many jams like this. This isn't even a jam yet. It's just a leadoff base runner. Waterman can easily just strike out the side right here. Aiden Taylor flied to left his first time up. He takes the first pitch low from Waterman. 1 ball and no strikes. one's in the dirt. 2-0. Waterman can use a sinking fastball of his own to get Taylor to wrap one in the ground. And that one is going to be in the dirt. Talaga was off with the pitch. Moore had no play on him. So it's a 3-0 count to Aiden Taylor, and a runner is on second base now. Waterman comes set. 3-0. There's the first strike to Taylor. 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike to the catcher Taylor. That one's just inside. Ball 4. So 2 free passes to start the Chargers' bottom of the 4th. Hit by pitch and a walk. Paulie Demos, second baseman, struck out his first time up. Another one of those would be greatly appreciated by Vince Waterman, as then 1 ground ball would end the inning. Squares bunt. Does not get it down, as that one was in the dirt. 1-0. Talaga had a pretty big secondary lead over there at second base, so Moore had to run him back. Demos squares bunt yet again. Gets it down this time, and it spins foul. 1-1. You can't slash at this level, meaning you can't show bunt, pull back, and then swing away freely. If you show bunt, you either have to bunt or pull back completely. So you can see Demir Heidelberg playing almost 20 feet up the first base line. And when Demos squares here, he'll be charging even more. As you can see, there he is. Pickoff attempt. A great throw by Vince Waterman, and Rob Tate almost nabbed Talaga at second base, almost caught him sleeping. But it did not. That throw was right on the money. Talaga got his arm, or hand, back in there safely, rather. Demos squares. Does not get it down. Great block by Josh Moore, keeping everybody where they are. Demos still has a 2-1 count on him. Ahead in the count now. Heidelberg will now charge. Waterman spins, checking on Talaga over there at second, making sure he's not stealing on first move, as he is getting fairly far off the base with a secondary lead. Now Demos gets it down. Moore hops on it and throws out Demos at first. It'll go a sacrifice 2-4 in the book, as Corey Mulling was covering first there, but it moves Talaga to second and Taylor, Talaga to third and Taylor to second. The leadoff man for the Chargers, A.J. Zavala, stepping in now with 2 runners in scoring position. He's 0 for 2 on the day, struck out and flied out. He hits one on the ground to Tate. Tate can't make the play originally at home. His only play was the first after that bobble. So the Chargers add on another one. Their lead is now 6-3. But the Vikings do get an out. But the Chargers do get a run. So traded an out for a run. If Tate had came up with that cleanly, I think he would have went home, as Talaga was off with contact. Andrew Spee takes that one upstairs. He's still got a runner in scoring position. Takes that one up and in. Ball 2. First strike to the shortstop, Spee. Waterman comes set. 2-1 pitch. Same spot. 2-2. Waterman trying to get out of this inning. With only 1 run scored. Two to Spee. Chopped towards Wesley at third. He's up with it. That's a good play to end the Chargers' half of the 4th inning. But after 4, Chargers hold a 3-run lead over the Vikings. Leading off this Vikings half of the 5th inning, it's going to be the shortstop, Rob Tate. Tate flied to very deep left center field. It sent the left fielder Talaga back onto the warning track. If Tate had just pulled that maybe a little bit more, maybe about 20, 30 feet towards left instead of left center, he would have had a home run of his own to go along with Jason Ballard's home run. He takes first pitch upstairs from the starting pitcher, Quinn Saunders. Still out on the mound now for his 5th inning of work. He's behind in the count 1-0 to Tate. Evens a count on that slider. 1-1. Tate fouls that pitch back. 1-2. Once again, left field is wide open. So if Tate can just send one past Sharp at third, he can easily stand on 2, maybe even 3, as you can see how far Talaga is in left center field. Good fight there by Tate. Keeping the count at a ball and a strike. One ball and 2 strikes. Tate lines one into left field, and Talaga will lay out and make the play. A fine play in left field robs Tate of a hit, and that is how this 5th inning will get underway. So we're talking about all this positioning, and Talaga was just in a good spot to make a play. So that one was hit. He only had to come in on it, so if he was playing more towards the line, he probably wouldn't have made that play. Dylan Head takes first pitch strike from Saunders. Head is 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out. Ended up on second on a drop third. And then grounded to second his last time up. He grounds one off the pitcher's hand. Saunders tried to barehand that one. I don't know if that was the best idea. It nicked off his hand, but Dylan Head will be in there at first with a 1-out single.
Left fielder number 19.
That was... I never want to question a player's decision, but that ball was hard hit. I don't know if Saunders thought he could just palm that one and fire to first, but it hit off his fingers. He'll check on Head over there at first. Head already swiped third when he was on second base in the first inning. He can easily steal second right here. Bennett Reich stands in. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a single to right his last time up. That one's in the dirt. 1-0. You can see Saunders is worried about Head over there. That's how much of an impact he has. Saunders is trying to rush into his motion. That one's in the dirt yet again. Ball 2. Looked like Saunders deked Head at first. Head was going towards the base before that pitch. 2-0 to Reich. In the dirt, same spot. Head's going to take 2. He's going to round second, stay at second. 3-0 count now to Bennett Reich and a runner in scoring position here in this top of the 5th. So thanks to Dylan Head's speed at first base, Bennett Reich did not see a pitch to hit. All 3 of his balls were in the dirt, low and away, as Saunders was worried about Head at first. And being a lefty, he can see him out of the corner of his eye. A lefty faces first. A righty would have their back turned. 3-0 Reich. Head takes off. That's strike 1. Head swipes third for the second time today. And now, any ball in play, unless it's hit right at somebody, is likely going to get a run in for the Vikings. But I'm sure Bennett Reich wants to get on base. He's got a 3-1 count on him, so ball 4 would do the job. And that's ball 4. A 1-out walk for Bennett Reich has runners on the corners for Jason Ballard. The man who tied the game in the 3rd has a chance to tie the game in the 5th. A 3-run shot right here would even the game at 6. I've seen crazier things happen. I believe in Jason. He wanted to tie the game right there with that swing. He fouled it back, 0-1. Right center field is wide open as Jenski's playing maybe about 30 feet off the line, but then Zavala's playing straight up center field. Ballard takes ball 1 upstairs. Ballard has now homered in 3 consecutive games. There's strike 2. Inside corner. 2 consecutive games. Preston Lund has homered. If he had homered in... No, yeah. Jason Ballard has homered in 3 consecutive games. I can do math. Check swing. They're saying he did not go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, now there's on the appeal. Jason Ballard did go. So that is the 2nd out of this top of the 5th. That probably was a swing. I thought it was a swing before I said anything, but I didn't want to jinx it. But now the Vikings have runners on the corners and 2 outs for the DH Preston Lund. Lund's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a fly out to right. Fouled back. Reich was off with the pitch there. So Lund trying to score ahead from third, possibly Reich from first if he hits one into a gap. He's got an 0-1 count on him. Count is even now, a ball and a strike. That one was a bit upstairs. Pickoff attempt, Reich takes off. Trying to score from third is Head. He will, so Reich has done his job. The Vikings score one, and Reich is tagged out. But the Vikings do get one on that rundown play. That's a design play from Coach McCarthy, getting a pickoff attempt and allowing the runner to score from third. But going into the bottom of the fourth, the Chargers of Stagg hold a 2-run lead over the Vikings of Homewood-Flossmoor. Vince Waterman still on the bump for the Vikings, his second inning of relief out of the bullpen. The usual starter relieved the starter today, Nick Calomino. He'll face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in this Stagg Chargers lineup. Augie White, the DH, has doubled to right and reached on an error in his 2 trips to the plate today. He fouls one up and out down the first base line. Waterman ahead in the count 0-1. Ahead in the count 0-2 now. That fastball got White to turn away, almost expecting it to hit him, but it just fell back over the plate using that 2-seam sinking action. 0-2 to White. Strike 3 looking, and that is how this bottom of the 5th is going to get underway. A strikeout, a backwards K of Augie White. Bobby Jansky, the right fielder, is 1 for 2 on the day. His last at-bat, he singled to center field. Dylan Head tried to dive and come up with it, did not. He watches first pitch strike from Vince Waterman. A 1 count on Jansky. 0-2 count on Jansky. So Vince Waterman pounding the zone here in this 5th inning. Struck out Augie White on 3 pitches, trying to strike out Bobby Jansky on 3 pitches as well. 0-2 from Waterman. Swing and a miss. That one gets away from Moore. He's going to throw. And 6 pitches and 2 strikeouts for Vince Waterman. And good play there by Josh Moore as that one got away a bit too far from him, but Jansky does not have the best speed. And now Vince Waterman is only 3 pitches away from doing something. I'm not going to say it because then he's not going to do it. First pitch to Sharp is in the dirt, and what he was trying to do was an immaculate inning. Now that he is not going to achieve that, it's 9 pitches and 9 strikes for 3 strikeouts. So you go strike out each batter on 3 pitches in an inning. So after 6 strikes, Waterman throws 2 balls to the third baseman, Spencer Sharp. He can still strike out the side. He's going to have to dig out of a 2-0 hole. Now a 2-1 hole. A little less deep of a hole, but still a hole nonetheless. Two one to Sharp. Fouled almost into the Vikings dugout. That'll wake up the players on the bench. And now it's 2-2 on Spencer Sharp. Waterman trying to strike out the side here in this bottom of the 5th. Two to Sharp. Hit on the ground past the dive of Caden Wesley. And Spencer Sharp is going to be waved towards second. And he's going to stand on second with a 2-out double. Caden Wesley dove. Could not come up with that one. That one was just hit a little bit too hard and a little bit too far outside of his reach. Mark Wolak, the first baseman, is 1 for 2 on the day. He struck out his last time up. It's likely just a meeting to go over signs. With the runner on second, they can attempt to relay signs if they figure them out. So Moore's just going out there with Waterman to tell them, okay, it's the first sign you see after I flash 3, or it's the last sign I show, or whatever it is. Wolak skies one to right. Ballard fighting the sun, settles under it. And that is going to end the 5th inning. So 4 batters came to the plate, only 1 reached base. And at the end of the 5th, it's the Chargers still with a 2-run lead over the Vikings. Leading off the top of the sixth for the Vikings is the DH Preston Lund. He will face starting pitcher Quinn Saunders for the third time today. Saunders out for his sixth inning of work. That first pitch would have hit a left-handed batter had Lund been one. He is not, however. Count is 1-0. 1-0 from Saunders. That one's in there for strike one. Lund is 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a flyout to right, both of which ended innings, the first and the third, respectively. As Lund taps one towards Wolak at first. Wolak up with it. And will make the play. That one had a lot of spin on it, so you never know. That one was just off the end of the bat. But Lund is retired, and Corey Mulling will step in. He's 1 for 2 with a single to left field his last time to the plate. He then stole second, but then was stranded at second. He takes strike one from Saunders. Saunders appears to be going at least this inning. Chargers do have a man up in the bullpen. There's strike two on the inside corner. Mulling jumped away from that one, but it fell back in over the inside corner. Got a feeling that if Saunders comes out of this game, the Vikings are going to be able to put some runs up on the board. That one just barely got a piece of it. Mulling did. Tipped it foul. They, in order to get to the bullpen, have to first knock Saunders out of the game. You got to string some hits together for that. Mulling does have 1 of 4 Vikings hits on the day. He swings and misses at that pitch from Saunders. Goes down on strikes. Sends Demir Heidelberg to the dish with 2 outs. Saunders is now in double-digit strikeouts. That was his 10th of the day. Heidelberg takes that one. That one's inside. 1 ball and no strikes. That one almost hits Heidelberg. He has to jump out of the way. If it had hit him, that would have been likely right off the knee or shin area. One that would have left a mark, certainly. (2-0 to Heidelberg. Upstairs, the third ball of the at-bat as Heidelberg way ahead, 3-0. I would be shocked if he swings right here. He doesn't, but takes strike one. Thought it was ball 4. He took a few steps towards first. Umpire called him back with the strike call. 3-1 from Saunders. In the dirt, ball 4, and the Vikings have a 2-out walk. That's going to send Stagg, coach, out of the dugout, and that looks like it's going to be all she wrote for Quinn Saunders. The lefty went 5 2/3, allowed 4 runs on 4 hits, struck out 10. He'll depart with a 2-run lead, in line for the win currently. So as this new pitcher warms up, we'll step out and be back with more Vikings baseball. The new pitcher in the game for the Stagg Chargers is the right-hander Danny Leach. He'll face Josh Moore, the catcher, with a runner on first and 2 outs. That first pitch from Leach is outside, ball 1. Chris Webb is pinch running for Demir Heidelberg at first base. That one's outside yet again, ball 2. We'll say in warm-ups, Leach did not find the zone many times. Every pitch that I watched was similar to that one. Wide and a bit low. There's the third of the same pitch. 3 balls and no strikes. I would be shocked if Moore picked the bat up off the shoulder. And he won't, but he'll take strike 1. That one, again, might have been a little bit outside, but it's a strike. Brings the count to 3-1. That one's tipped foul. Full count. So Webb will be off with the pitch. Leach is working quickly. Got to make sure he comes set. Full count pitch to Josh Moore. Swing and a miss, and Leach works back from a 3-0 hole and strikes out Josh Moore to end the Vikings half of the 6th inning. They strand a 2-out walk from Demir Heidelberg. And going into the bottom of the 6th, the Vikings still trail by 2. Vince Waterman still on the bump for the Vikings. His 3rd inning of relief. He'll face the 7-8-9 hitters in this Chargers lineup, as he did in the 4th. Sebastian Talaga will lead things off. He homered and was hit by a pitch in his 2 at-bats today. First pitch from Waterman. It's a bit off the plate and outside for ball 1. 1-0 from Waterman. Talaga sends one out to left field, and that one is going to be one-hopped off the left field fence. Reich up with it. Talaga will be stopped at second base with a leadoff double. So Talaga has hit 2 very hard-hit balls towards left field. One left, one stayed in the yard. Aiden Taylor, the catcher, flied to left and walked his last time up. He'll take first pitch just barely off the plate. Ball 1. Seen Waterman in this situation a few times this season. Taylor sprays that one foul, evening the count, and a ball on the strike. Talaga is taking a pretty decent-sized lead over there at second. Swing and a miss from Taylor on what appeared to be a changeup from Waterman. 1-2. Count on Taylor. One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the 6th. That fastball's up and out. Bring the count to an even 2-2. Two pitch from Waterman. Just barely inside. 3-2. That one looked to be pretty good from up here, but maybe just a few inches off the plate. But it brings the count to a full 3-2 on the catcher Taylor. That one's low. Ball 4. And the first 2 batters have reached here in the bottom of the 6th. So a leadoff double and a walk following that double. Have the Chargers with runners on first and second with nobody out here in this bottom of the 6th. Paulie Demos, the second baseman, stepping in now for the Chargers. He's 0 for 1 with a sac bunt today, and he'll square around yet again. He'll pull back. That one was maybe a little bit upstairs. I don't know. Looked good from up here. But it's a 1-0 count on the second baseman, Demos. He'll square again. Heidelberg charges from first. He'll pull back. That one's a strike this time. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Demos could just like pop this ball up. That'll be great. Just don't allow any of these runners to advance. That one's upstairs, 2-1. You can see Corey Mulling already standing over there at first base. Heidelberg charging in already. That one's inside off Josh Moore's glove, and that will do the job of Demos' sacrifice bunt without him even leaving the box or getting an out for the Vikings here in this 6th inning. Both runners advance 90 feet, and Demos has a 3-1 count on him. So the Chargers threatening to load the bases with the top of the order up next. Vikings going infield in. 3-1 to Demos. Sent down the right field line. Ballard will give chase, but will have no play. That one bounces off of a roof here, just over by the right field line, and Ballard caught it. So if we were playing by the Savannah Bananas rules, they're a fun little baseball team in Savannah, Georgia. If you catch it off of anything before the ball hits the ground, it's an out. So, but we are not. Count is full, 3-2. And that's ball 4, just barely off the plate. And back-to-back walks after a leadoff double have the bases loaded for the Chargers here in this bottom of the 6th. We'll send pitching coach Vince Davis out of the dugout to chat with Waterman. Waterman was working so efficiently in the 5th, struck out 2 batters on 6 pitches. He then gave up a double, but then was able to get the next batter. But after a double this inning, he's then walked the next 2 batters, still looking for the first out of this 6th inning. Vikings are down 2. They're trying to keep that lead, keep that deficit, however, at 2. They only have 1 chance left in the top of the 7th, unless they want to send this one to extra innings. But after a 5-hour game on Monday, I'm sure that all of them have had about enough of extra innings. Swing and a miss from A.J. Zavala, the leadoff man. If there's one thing I can guarantee you is that this game will not go 12 innings. I will guarantee you of that. And if it does, well, that pitch from Waterman, up and out. Moore had to jump for that one. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Waterman comes set. Zavala sends one out to right field. Might be deep enough for Talaga to score from third. He'll try it. Throw from Ballard is not in time. And the Chargers score their 7th run. That throw from Ballard looked like it didn't need to be cut off from Heidelberg, but he cut it off anyway. That looked to be a throw right on the money. And I think that if Heidelberg had just let that one go through, it would have been at least a closer play at the plate. I'm not guaranteeing that he would have been out, but it would have been a bang-bang play, that's for sure. Anthony Sacalo, pinch hitting now for Andrew Spee. Everybody's getting that change into their lineup. But runners still on first and second with one out here in the Chargers half of the 6th. First pitch ball, up and out. That one's in there for strike one, evening the count at 1-1. If Waterman can just get a ground ball, the Vikings can get out of this inning in one pitch. That one's off the plate. 2-1. After some of the calls today, you wonder where that pitch was. But count is now 2-1. Pitch from Waterman. It's hit down the left field line and foul. Home plate umpire called it foul. And to be honest, that was probably a fair ball, and the Stagg coaches are rightfully upset about that. That one looked to be about 6 inches fair. Maybe not 6 inches, but that one, hey, we'll take it. As I can be biased reporting for the HF Viking Baseball YouTube, so that one was 100% foul, never was fair. It was foul by about 20 feet. That one is lined into left center field, being waved home. Throw from head. It's cut off once again, and the Vikings are now down 8-4. So a run that probably would have scored anyway on that ground ball down the third base line, scores anyway. And the Vikings find themselves in a 4-run deficit. Augie White, the DH now, stepping to the plate. He takes ball 1 upstairs. So if the Vikings want to come back from this one, they'll have some work to do. A 4-run hole. Sends one down the right field line. Foul. So count is 1-1 now. That one, good block by Moore, as that one was at White's feet, keeping everybody where they are. White struck out looking his first time up. His last time up in the 5th. He started that 5th inning with a strikeout. He chops one This one actually is foul down the third base line. I can assure you that that one was nowhere near as close to the ball that was hit last at bat, but it's a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to White. Pitch from Waterman. Inside, ball 3, to be maybe just a bit low and inside as well. That one probably broke a little bit too much for the home plate umpire to call that one a strike, especially strike 3. But it brings the count to a full 3-2. That one's in the dirt, and it's going to load the bases. Once again, in this Chargers half of the 6th inning.
Right fielder, 21,
Bobby Jansky struck out his last time up, but he also singled to center field in the 3rd. Once again, ground ball would get the Vikings out of this inning. It's hit to one of the middle infielders. That one's a strike. Somehow that one looked to almost hit Jansky. I don't know, man. I'm not going to comment on any calls, but know that there have been multiple questionable ones. Jansky taps that one foul. So Jansky very quickly behind in the count, 0-2 to Waterman. Pitch from Waterman. Tapped, and Moore caught it somehow. I don't know how he caught that one, but he did, and it's the 2nd out of this 6th inning. Spencer Sharp is 3 for 3 on the day with 2 doubles and a single. On one of the doubles, he was out trying to advance to 3rd, but he's got 1 run and 2 RBIs. He takes ball 1 from Waterman. Waterman trying to end this bottom of the 6th with only 2 runs. Could be a lot worse than that if Sharp decides to stay hot. 1-0 from Waterman. Hit on the ground. Past the dive of Rob Tate, and that's going to score at least 1, probably 2. A throw from Reich, not in time. And the Vikings are in a 6-run deficit. That's the 2nd time Spencer Sharp has just grounded one down in between Rob Tate and Caden Wesley. Mark Wolak, the first baseman, stepping in now. He'll take ball 1 upstairs. He flied to right to end the 5th, his last time up. Hopefully he can end the 6th. He is the only batter not to bat in this 6th inning so far, and Chargers have sent all 9 of their hitters in their lineup to the plate this inning. Wolak sends one to center field, head racing back, still going back, and he'll have no play in that one. One hops the wall. It's going to score at least 2. Throw for Mulling is to 3rd, and all of a sudden, it's a 6-run inning, and the Stagg Chargers are up 12-4. That looks like all she wrote for Vince Waterman. Trent Roseborough is going to come in out of the bullpen, and the Vikings are now in a 12-4 hole with Trent Roseborough trying to get the last out of this 6th inning. So we'll step out as he warms up and be back with more Vikings baseball. The plate now in this 6th inning, Sebastian Talaga. He'll take first pitch from Trent Roseborough in there for strike 1. Chargers have already put up 6 in this 6th inning. Roseborough trying to keep it at just 6. That one's low and away. Count is now an even 1 ball and 1 strike. One from Roseborough. In the dirt, good pick by Moore. Keeping Wolak at second. It's very hard to hit a ball over Dylan Head's head. He has elite speed, but Mark Wolak did just that. He one-hopped that wall out there in center field. A very hard thing to do. 2-1 to Talaga. That one's tapped awkwardly towards first. Demir Heidelberg will take it himself and end this bottom of the 6th inning. So it started the 6th as a 6-4 game, and it ends as a 12-4 game. Vikings will need at least 8 in the top of the 7th if they want to keep this game going. So at the end of 6, Vikings 4, Chargers 12. Vikings have some work to do here in this top of the 7th. They enter facing an 8-run deficit and only 3 outs to go until this ball game is over. Caden Wesley will lead things off here in the 7th. He's struck out twice on the day, trying to avoid his 3rd. He'll take strike 1 from the righty Danny Leach. There's ball 1 from Leach. Leach was tasked with getting the final out of the 6th inning. He battled back from a 3-0 hold to Josh Moore and then retired him via strikeout. Wesley fouls that one back. 1-2. So Wesley behind in the count, 1-2. Pitch from Leach. Bounced foul towards first. Wesley staying alive. One-two pitch from Leach. Awkward swing and a miss. And that is Caden Wesley's 3rd strikeout of the day. And the 12th strikeout victim of the day for the entire Vikings team. Heidelberg, Moore, and Wesley account for 7 of those 12 strikeouts. Rob Tate accounts for 0, however. He is 0 for 2 on the day. He's flied to left and lined to left. Takes strike 1 from Leach. Takes strike 2 from Leach. Leach is working very quickly. He's just getting the ball and throwing it. Leach will have no play on that one. Spee will, and that one gets away from the first baseman Wolak as that throw from Spee was in the dirt. And Rob Tate will be on first base thanks to an error by the shortstop Spee. Vikings do need base runners, as you can't score 6 with one swing. Excuse me, you can't score 6, and even if they do score 6, they would still need 2 more, but you can't score 8 on one swing. He's going to turn the lineup card over for leadoff man Dylan Head. He's 1 for 3 on the day. They're giving Tate second base, which is interesting. I don't think Wolak did not hold him on, so Tate just kept on creeping off first, and they gave him second. So that takes a double play out of the question, but I doubt Dylan Head would have grounded into a double play anyway with his speed. He took ball 1 from Leach. Head can make it a 6-run game with one swing. He takes strike 1, the outside corner, evening the count at a ball and a strike. Head smacks that one foul off of one of the seats here at Ozinga Field. Brings the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right center field is wide open for Head. 1-2 from Leach. Smacked once again down the left field line, foul. Plenty of scouts at all of the Vikings games for the man at the plate right now. Number 1 player in Illinois, Dylan Head. 1-2 from Leach. In the dirt. Ball 2. Good block by Taylor. A website called Prospects Live does MLB draft mock drafts where they sort of predict it. The one that they released today had Dylan Head going 20th overall in the first round to the Toronto Blue Jays. That includes high school and college players. His Head chops that one foul into the Stagg dugout. But Head is a very highly touted prospect. Two balls and 2 strikes on Head. Trying to win this battle against Danny Leach. 2-2. Inside, and that one's going to get away. Rob Tate's going to advance to third. Brings the count to a full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Great at bat here from the leadoff man Head. Full count pitch. Head chops one foul down the first base line this time, keeping himself alive. Trying to make Leach throw him a mistake pitch. One that he can split a gap with, potentially even put one over the fence. Full count pitch. Leach to Head. Inside, ball 4. And the Vikings have runners on the corners with 1 out. Great at bat there by the leadoff man Head, working it into a walk. It's going to send Bennett Reich to the plate. Left fielder's had many good at bats in the last few games. He's 1 for 2 with a walk today. Takes ball 1 in the dirt from Leach. Again, nobody's holding Dylan Head on at first. I don't know how wise of a move that is. They're just going to give him second base. He takes off. He's going to steal second. Reich takes strike 1. I don't understand that, because you could have ended the game with a double play, but, you know, not going to question it. They're up 8, so Maybe, I mean, the run doesn't matter. Reich takes ball 2 off the plate. So 2 runners in scoring position now for the Vikings. As Reich swings through that Leach fastball. 2-2. I will say I have not seen Danny Leach throw anything but that sinking fastball. So I believe he is just a one-pitch pitcher. Reich swings and misses at that pitch. He is down on strikes for the second time today. It's going to send Jason Ballard to the plate, representing the Vikings' last chance at a win. Right fielder has walked and homered on the day. That homer tied the game in the third. Takes ball 1 off the plate. That homer in the third tied it at 3. Vikings have scored 1 since then. Chargers have scored 9. Ballard takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Even count, a ball and a strike. It's the 3-hole hitter, Jason Ballard. Ballard swings and misses at that pitch. Vikings now down to their last strike. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ballard takes that one outside. Rob Tate decides not to go, as his run doesn't mean anything. You don't want to make the final out at home plate, but he probably could have got there if he had tried, if he had attempted to score, if he had even just ran home, to be honest. That one got away far enough from Taylor that probably would have scored, but, you know, don't want to make the final out of the game at home plate. Never want to make any out at home plate. And Jason Ballard swings through that fastball from Leach, and the Stagg Chargers upset the Homewood-Flossmoor Vikings 12-4. Quinn Saunders threw a gem of an outing for the Stagg Chargers. He's going to be your winning pitcher. Losing pitcher for the Vikings is going to be Vince Waterman. He allowed a 6-run bottom of the 6th, unfortunately. But the Vikings have a game Saturday against Nequa. It'll be at home at 11 a.m. We will be broadcasting that one and all others throughout this season. So if you haven't already, turn on those post notifications so you get notified of when we go live. Don't want to miss any of these live streams. If you haven't already subscribed, do that as well. The Vikings lose a 12-4 ball game to the Stagg Chargers. And for everybody here at the HF Viking baseball team, I'm Dylan Barnes. Have a great night, everybody.